into Little Rock, the pilot jumped up out of his seat and came over and threw his arm around my neck and said, "Thank you, HK." I was so proud of what to do.
Amen.
Huh?
Amen.
Yes, sir. The whole convention, all I did was sing Dixie. Didn't care. They said, "Well, we're not singing Dixie. Stop, everybody, stop. Y'all stop doing what you're doing. We're going to sing Dixie." And we did. And I had a great time. I was really bragging a lot when I sent out my open letter because the Secretary of State had given to Commander Bush, myself, and the Kennedy folks a huge letter of appreciation for the work we do for the South. And I got the big head showing up there. And I bragged about it a little bit in my open letter. And my babies, all them Mr. Y'all, they stay on me all the time. And I'll be looking out the window and be 20 of them coming to my door. Mr. HK. Well, they weren't so happy with me. Mr. HK, Mr. Newell always talks about upping our game because of what these folks are doing to us in the South End of America. We need to fight back. Amen. Well, these babies had given me a letter to give to Commander Bush. And the letter said they want him to give this to the politicians and tell all the Yankees in the South who do not like our monuments to go home. And tell them, and as a matter of fact, any monuments that have Union names on them, take those with you too, including the 54th Massachusetts. Take all that out of here. And all of the street names and school names, especially those that have Lincoln High on it, take all that off and go on home with it. Respectfully. Well, here I was with that letter in my pocket. And at the opening ceremonies, Commander Lloyd Mott, who was the commander of Arkansas Division, as well as the host commander of the camp that hosted the convention. Well, the past commander of the Union forces came to the microphone. This is at the opening ceremony. And he had a very cold reception at first. Because, I guess everybody wondered what is he doing here. They had invited Commander Boshiers to the Union reunion, so I guess he returned the favor. I remember once before, don't let me forget this, where I was. I remember once before I did the keynote speech at Johns Hopkins University. I was really sad and mad that they taken down General Lee and General Jackson's last meeting. That was one of the most beautiful monuments I ever seen in my life, black marble. I didn't, you remember it? I didn't know at the time that they'd taken it down. But anyway, in South Carolina in 2000, the commander of the Union forces came to that meeting where I gave the keynote speech. And I was wondering to myself then, what is the Yankee doing on the microphone? Especially speaking before I got to speak because I got a lot of women to do the Yankees up in here today. Yeah. But the boy started talking about the glorious Confederate soldiers, how honorable they were, and what an example that they had to show to the Union soldiers. Needed forgiveness for what the Union soldiers had done when they came through the South End of America. Got a standing ovation when he got through. So I'm thinking at this reunion in Arkansas, I sure hope he's half as good as the man that I saw who gave the speech at Johns Hopkins University. And he was. He started talking about the glorious Confederate soldier and his family, how they were treated by Union soldiers. And when he got through to go sit down, I can't keep my mouth closed. Hey, Commander Boshiers, can I have a question put to this commander? Commander Boshiers is a good man, y'all. Some folks say, oh, he's too weak, he's all that. I have not ever met a weak son of Confederate commander. He might not walk the way you want him to walk, You might not talk the way you want to talk, but in order to be a commander of the Sons of Confederate Veterans in any capacity, you're a bad boy. You bad boy. Yes, sir, HK, you go right ahead and ask that question. So I wanted to know, we have one of the most trying times. Confederate soldiers sent to Alpha Monument and all of them cemeteries under attack. This reconciliation monument. One that was built on the suggestion of President McKinley, a former Union soldier who was then president and had watched how the Confederate soldiers who had now had gone back into the Union Army, how they fought. Y'all can hold this one. Please. Don't let it touch the floor. I'll be back for it in a minute. Don't let it touch the floor, boy. I don't want to see that flag, burn. So, anyway, I asked him, will you ask the Union forces to join us in this fight? Sons of Confederate Veterans, United Daughters of Confederacy, Save Southern Heritage. This fight that we're having to save the reconciliation money. And it was called reconciliation money because what McKinley did when he watched those Confederate soldiers fighting in the Spanish-American War, he said to himself, my God, how did we win? I started to tell the boy he didn't really win. General Lee just got tired of seeing his boys with no shoes. Nobody done stole the food trucks. You back down south, you got Lincoln's Field articles. You around there raping, robbing, stealing, and killing defenseless old men, women, and children. And General Robert E. Lee, right on the doorstep to Washington, D.C., said, we've had enough. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. He thought that these people were as honorable as he was. He made a mistake. They were not. But anyway, he said, I shall go to my organization and ask them to join in the fight to save the reconciliation monument in Arlington. When he said that, I had to put that letter deeper in my pocket. I couldn't beat up on him. I really didn't want to beat him because I knew that my babies wanted me to whip him. I knew that they wanted the commander of the Sons of Confederate Veterans to tell the Yankees, we love you, but goodbye. We love you, but we cannot stand around here while you continue to tear down our memorials and to change the names of our streets. You've already done the worst thing you could possibly do. And you started on Robert E. Lee. Can I get an amen? Amen. So I had to put some super glue on my lips. I did. I hated it. And I went back home. 3 days later, no, a week later, I looked out the window, and here they come. About 35 strong, myself. Now I'm a sinner. Wonder why they're here, and I knew why they were there. And they came into my sister's house and they said to me, Mr. H.K., you lost your nerve. You have become a worthless individual. You didn't even have the nerve and the audacity to even ask the man what we put in that letter. You never even talked to Commander Boshiers about it. Miss Lunell running around here telling us to up our game. We must fight. We can't keep holding our heads down. It's time now to stand up. And Mr. H.K., now you like all the pretty decals you got on your uniform and on your suit. Like them little pretty letters of appreciation that these folks are giving you. Like all that hugging you got going on, and all you do is just talk back. And you quit doing things, Mr. H.K. Boy, let me tell you something. At first I was mad. I was thinking to myself, well, wait a minute, hold on, children. I'm the same person, but you haven't upped your game. The only person at the Sons of Confederate Veterans who upped their game that we know was the Honorable Kurt D. Lyons. Kurt Lyons introduced a resolution to the Sons And in that resolution, let me see if I can remember exactly what it was about. I think it was about changing the names on the streets. Whatever it was for the Yankees. Boys and girls, you've had enough. We can't take any more. That resolution fell by 2 votes. And my babies told me it should have been unanimous from the sons. The resolution occurred when I put on the floor. And there I stand, Commander. Deep down, I felt just like I had come down to this. Because my children, my babies, said that I was a coward. That I did not step up my game. And they were ashamed of me. Now, Dalton tell me that tonight. Y'all may see me crying. For the babies to look at you in the eyes and say, you have no game. Then they went on to say, you asked that commander if he would join in the fight with the reconciliation cenotaph, and he said he was going to take it back to his organization. It's been over a week now. Where is the letters from the union saying, yes, we shall join you with the fight? Where is the check that says, here's $100, here's $500, here's $5,000 of help with the legal expenses that you face? All he did was run his mouth to get out of the building. That's what the papers told me. He didn't mean what he said. It's a very bad thing. It hurts real bad, let me tell you. When my children talk to me like that. I was probably up to about 45% the next day, but I had to take my flag and go out on the bridge over there. One of my called my officers where I had to go. And I'm standing up there and I'm really feeling real faint. Gotta take these heart pills. You first get dizzy, you get weak. But I'm gonna tell you, Almighty God looks down on me every day. I went to strutting on that bridge like a southern peacock. With my flag. You know, I gotta do something to let these babies know I have not given up. Then one of them told me we're not expecting excuses out of university education, we're expecting efficiency. They talk down and you feel bad. That's why I'm so happy I came over here tonight. I could eat, ate too much. A dolphin called me greedy. And I hugged all these pretty ladies. I hope if there's anybody I miss, don't y'all get out of here without me getting a hug. I was about bad looking men too. Y'all know who y'all are. Had the opportunity to go to Tampa, Florida. I'm on at least 5 lawsuits. Tampa, Lake City, Pensacola, all over the place. But I was so proud when I saw what the judges had said to these thugs in my hometown about this Devonburg Vance money. Now, the Jews said of Devonburg Vance that they would never ever give a local of any kind to this man. He was a governor, a war governor, and a colonel in the Confederate Army. General Robert E. Lee sent for him when his men started feeling down. General Robert E. Lee sent for Devonburg Vance. In the state of North Carolina, we have a monument protection law. You cannot remove any one of these monuments unless you go through the Historic Commission. Well, a young black girl went over to the courthouse in Durham and pulled one down. Judge just patted her on the hand, she said, don't do that again. And off she went. He should have put her in jail. Asked me what to feed her. I gave her one biscuit and a glass of water and a toothpick. I called it a pine tree float. But I'm sorry. Sorry, I don't have any sympathy. I'm telling you the way it is. Silent Sam at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Some Yankee teachers went and pulled down Silent Sam to the ground and then stood there and stomped on it and spit on it. You better be glad I wasn't. My little brother won't let me carry my Navy Confederate pistols that you put balls in. He said, I got a Scorcher policy mine. You know, I'm really a diplomat, but I ain't used to be lying. I probably would have shot 2 or 3 of them. I'm sorry, children. Don't hold it against me. I really am a peaceful man. But when you start messing around with my Southern family and my Southern heritage, out the door goes the peace. It's through. They were ordered twice. Put it back. The lady who was the chancellor of the school told her to take down the face, and then she retired after doing that. Conveniently retired. I want my babies to know this is America. Condoleezza Rice said one to a group of people from different nations that what makes America so great is because we have rule of law, equal protection of the law. Boy, but if you Southern, something happens. Now the equal protection of the law just goes right on down the river. The rule of law, it just goes someplace. I don't know where it goes. Doctor, is it over there in your bathroom school? The rule of law. When it comes to Southern people, yeah, that's right. Check with your daddy. You know what I'm talking about. The rule of law changes if you Southern. Those baby girls, they'll find out. That baby boy, he'll find out. That's what took us to war in the first place. Because Abraham Lincoln and his boys forgot about the rule of law. You just come into the South and do anything to Southern people. You can't do it. Boy, the last thing that you want to ever get started is to get a Southern man or woman mad. Especially women. And the boys came when the war started out, and they was coming to get soldiers. Boy standing over there with his arm around his pretty girl. He said, take it out around me! Get yourself out of here and go get yourself a uniform. Those ladies had to fight a war all of their own. Didn't they? They did. Abraham Lincoln, with his field articles, told them, well, boy, y'all, Ulysses S. Grant, Sherman went to his office and said, we can't beat them Southerners. My God, we are number 100 to 1. We can't win those. Take the war to the women. Take it to the front door of the defenseless old men, women, and children. And then they'll go AWOL. Didn't happen. Because, darling, they knew that the women were there. Those men said we will fight on. Our women will take care of it. And they did. My mama told me a story about how her mama's missus stood right out there with all those babies surrounding her, black and white, counting them because they knew that she was a strength. One day he said to her, aimed at the guns at the church, and told his men to fire. Ooh! Turned around and looked at her and said, now, where is your God now? And she told him, he's looking. He is looking. You see what you did? They depended on her for that strength. I went to ask HK, why you always hugging on all the women? Boy, Kurt Lyons told me, he said, HK, if the men say anything to you, just fall back on one, don't know women, they'll take care of you. You want to learn well. All you men can talk all bad, you won't talk to me, but you got to look when you got to talk to my lady. They'll take care of me. I gave a keynote speech to United Daughters of the Confederacy in Tyler, Texas. Right after I got through walking to Texas, they walked, you know I walked to Texas. I was strutting like a southern peacock. 20 miles a day, 6 days a week. Let me tell you something Kurt Lyons told me when they invited me to their convention. HK, don't be around the hugging and UDC, those ladies right there. They're not like all the rest of the ladies. You can't just be hugging on them. I told the ladies, hey, they lined up. I look like Moses on the cloud when they got through. Woo! No, have mercy. Let's get back to reconciliation month. President McKinley, a former Union officer, and now president, after he watched all those Confederate soldiers, former Confederate soldiers, just tearing up the place, he went over to the UDC and said, ladies, because you know first they denied Confederate soldiers to be buried in Arlington. He told the ladies, he said, listen, would you please build a shrine for the Confederate soldiers? Told the Department of Defense, we're going to bury them. We're going to find a place to bury these men. It's not about who won the war. It's about coming back together. Called it a reconciliation monument. And said that this shrine shall be here forever for the whole world to see how the North and the South came back together. Went on to tell them that we need reconciliation from the North much more than they do in the South. Because of what we did in their land and to their people. So McKinley, Howard Taft agreed with him. He gave the speech for the unveiling. That monument is supposed to be a symbol of reconciliation. Oh, but Lord have mercy. I hate to tell you all this. The Secretary of Defense is a black man born in Alabama. That's something. He led, yes, he is a traitor, a DNA traitor. Just like that boy Sidney, that talked down on General Robert E. Lee. He gave the okay to Elizabeth Warren, and Yankee don't even know whether she's Pocahontas or what she is. She don't. Took that naming commission who was on it, supposedly changing the names of the forts that were named after Confederate soldiers. Had no business doing that. None. And then told a lie, because you know, they always like using black folks as a weapon of choice against the Southern white man. Can I get an amen? That's what they do. That's what they did during Reconstruction. They haven't stopped to this very day. That's what these folks do. It's easy to go down to the stable to get a boot black and give him a cigar, some chicken biscuit, and tell him to say all the white men are just evil. You'll say whatever you want him to say. Ulysses S. Grant said he wanted to run for 3 terms in office, and he said, hey, listen, I can win. All you gotta do is go there and tell the black folks anything. They'll accept anything you say. He called them niggas, he didn't say black folks. I didn't want to use that word around here, the niggas here, but I don't know about the N word. He said this. You can do anything. You can tell the niggas anything. And if you tell them they don't believe it, pull out some pistol, and they'll vote for me. Because he was so crooked that even his own people said, no, you'll see, we're not going to change the rules for you to run 3 times. You don't stole that thing and put your hand on. I thought he was Biden's cousin. Well, Ulysses S. Grant was president to Joe Biden come along. I'm sorry, y'all, any Democrats in here.
Biggest mistake of all time.
Yeah, don't hold it against me.
Don't be sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Pull my pants up, cause pull my.
It's kind of deep.
Yeah, he was already talking bad to me. Told me I had a lot of room in my pants. Sorry, pretty women in here talking loud about it too. Girl, they get a little food in here. You got all that air in your pants and all. So if I have to borrow somebody's daughter, I hope you brought the air pump. I'm gonna have to pump up my pants. This man is born in Alabama. Heart of the Confederacy, right down here. Black man. Decorated soldier. Civilian now. Appointed by Joe Biden. Oh Lord, I should have known. I should have known. He is appointed a naming commission with the invisible one in charge. Now he done been to the military schools. He got all kinds of awards for school, military schools. He knows about the 31st Infantry Division, the Dixie Division, that MacArthur and all his boys told him, said, we don't care if you bring the battle flag, bring your band too, put the battle flag on your band. They were a decorated division, the Dixie Division, 31st Infantry. You don't have to be HK, all my babies got all those computers. Run it up. He knew about him. And had a nerve and audacity to have Elizabeth Warren come to the floor of the United States Senate and declare that the people and the soldiers of the South were traitors. I ain't hear y'all. That is called a bill of attainder. Bill of attainder, baby girl, is when you accuse somebody of something that you have no proof that they did any of this. There's been no trial. There was never a treason trial for any Confederate soldier, not one. They didn't want to have it. President Davis said, put me on trial. I want to go on trial. Because it's time for the lie that you tell about secession being illegal. It's time for us to bring forward the truth. And he wouldn't do it. Against the Constitution, 10th Amendment, Section 9, Section 10, Section 1, can't do it. It's against the constitutional law. Elizabeth Warren said, excuse my boy, they babies, to hell with reconciliation, to hell with the law. There is no way that you can try me under the Constitution of the United States when you can't try the Constitution. I'll say what I want to say. You were traitors. Killing our people. Yankees deserve to be killed. You around here doing what you're doing to these defenseless old men, women, and children. We can't allow that. Boy, I'm telling you something. If you think those ladies couldn't shoot, you were wrong. Got some of them there. They could shoot. And they showed me now, you was doing little pots with a pea in. So the Union soldiers come by, they dump it out of them. Yeah, the women of the South, bad ladies. They didn't play.
You can fry a pan or whatever.
See what we talking about around here? Hey? Man, no y'all, no, I'm just starting that on you.
Don't rile them up.
Don't rile them up. You know, they'll let you have a little say. You talk real bad. That's what they tell you. Okay, honey. But if you get too bad with that, somebody will say, where you got big old mouth and that's your head from? You mess around and made one of them southern women mad. I know it's a lot of men so glad that they don't use ice picks anymore. You know, I just use them chunk of ice. Okay? I've seen many a man come out there holding his heart. And that's one of them southern women. And she got that ice pick and put it to him. Yes, ma'am. Now that frying pan, you better hope it ain't got no grease in it. And that he was this man knowing about the 31st. That he was a man who had been in Vietnam. You know, they used to come in Vietnam. the Vietnamese would steal the Stars and Stripes. They still had it in America. And then set up an ambush against am I going too long, Commander?
No, you're good.
Am I good?
You're good.
Okay. They'll steal the Stars and Stripes in a minute. And then they ambush the soldiers. But Lord have mercy, where that dog? They would not touch the Southern Cross. I don't know what it is about you Southern men too. You almost take after your women. They wouldn't do that. The black men would come out of the fields and say, "Oh no, we're all right now. There go our Southern boys," because the Vietnamese would not touch that flag. That he was the same man who just wasn't warned up to change bases by the name of the Confederate soldiers. He knew that in every battle, every war the United States was in, there she was. And then that scallywag from the United States Marines said, "Well, we ain't gonna carry that around here anymore." Why? In the Korean War, it was a United Nations conflict, and you couldn't carry the Stars and Stripes. What flag do you think the war carried? Dun, 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 dun.
Stars and bars.
Yeah! That's Stars and Bars. Don't call that Stars and Bars. That's first national. The battle flag.
It's federal.
In the Korean War. That's what they carried. Here's a man, Secretary of Defense, you know all this. You gonna let that scallywag Yankee woman that don't even know who she is talk down on this flag, talk down on the forces, on the bases in the South, and then tell a lie on the black folks. Very well, you know them black folks, they ashamed of the names of them, those folks named after the Confederate soldiers. Boy, I went to Fort Bragg, you know the only thing you didn't know about Fort Bragg was you were the 82nd Airborne, and they tell you that you're going to the swimming pool, and the swimming pool was sawdust and sand. And then you say, "You want to go swimming, son?" "Yes, sir." "Wait a minute, you know water." So, "Boy, you said you wanted to swim. That's our swimming pool. Get it?" You were proud to have been in Fort Bragg. You were proud to be in Fort Gordon. Nobody said a thing. I never ran. I taught basic and advanced electronics in Fort Mountain, New Jersey. I had soldiers came all over the world into my classroom. Never, ever, ever, ever did I ever hear about a black soldier, red soldier, brown soldier down in any fort. They always brag, "Oh, I was at Fort Gordon, I was at Fort McClellan." They always stick their chests out and brag about where they went. Here, Elizabeth Warren is telling these men in the United States Senate how the black folks was ashamed and offended by being in the United States military force. Most of them didn't even know that they were Confederate soldiers. Didn't care about that. Proud of where they went. Bragged about which one was the best sport. Bragged about who had the best drill sergeant. I know I had the best one. That boy was insane. All of them. Always using it. It gets worse. Here we are at the Reconciliation Monument. There's a black man over there named James Parks, who was addicted on his graveyard digger. He dug up graves and cleaned the yard. The Yankees decided that they would give him a full military burial at Arlington. I don't even know which end of a gun is a gun. Of course, you can't call it a gun, you just gotta call it a rifle. You call it a gun, you're in trouble.
Weapon now.
Well, whatever. I'm politically correct if it's right.
Pea shooter.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's special there.
That's it. Give him a full military film. Boy, when Yankee do something like that, you know he got something up his sleeve. Sooner or later, something up his sleeve. 2 weeks ago, they come out and said, "Well, you know, they hadn't made a decision." Well, the decision's already been made, but they tell you that it's like you have to go to, when they have something they send to make the community come in You have a community meeting and they talk about it. So you gotta go through these things. They already made their decision, I know they had, and said that James Park, where they take down the Confederate cenotaph monument, reconciliation monument, that we're gonna name the ground that it was on after James Park. What is it? I'm not here. might be my young girlfriend. So we're gonna change the name. We're gonna put James Park. It's gonna be James Park Circle. Why? Right. All you're doing is downgrading the Confederate soldiers' cenotaph. The ditch digger gets to be named, done nothing but dig a ditch. Pick up some trash. And we're gonna name the ground where the Confederate soldier cenotaph sat after James Park. His entire family should have come up there and said, oh, no, you're not. No, sir. He does not deserve to have it. Got a black Union soldier over here. I felt a little bit better, not much better. Was the highest ranking officer he was serving. Now just imagine this. He is a colonel, and the Union Army only paying him buck sergeant pay. I am not talking about the first sergeant or command sergeant major. Paid the boy buck sergeant pay, and he was a sergeant. Remember around there talking about black folks don't like the word color. I was born, baby girls, I was born Negro colored. But they know about that black thing. I'm very proud of them. Because every time my mom said, look at my little pretty Negro boy. Until one day they decided, just exactly this boy decided that Negro was demeaning and color was demeaning, so we now Afro-Americans. 2 months later they decided that Afro-Americans wasn't going to be, now we're African. Why would I want to be an African anything? We're the same people who put us on the boat, but came into the villages prior to slavery being real rampant, on their annual day, stole all the women, killed all the men. And after the Muslims got into the slave trade, they still came in the villages, stole the women, and sold all the men to all those folks who were buying slaves. Now I got to be African American. I can't be Negro and colored anymore. Some days, baby girl, I say, well, what are you? Human. Southern humor. Some days I'll just say Negro to make them mad. Colored to make them real mad.
Black.
You just make me do anything. Huh? You just want to hear me say that. Okay, black. This right here is pecan tan. I am a card-carrying member of the Order of White Trash. I am, y'all. I love that one. I love that so much. But it's hard, baby girl, being a white man, a southern white man, because we give you everything. Everything you can think of. So I might go back to being a Negro next week. I might. It's hard being a white man. I ain't lying. Ask some of these folks in here, some of these men in here, how hard it is being a southern white man. So I was talking about that boy. That's the commander of the Department of the Secretary of Defense. He knew that these men and women were not ashamed. He knew that Elizabeth Warren was lying. I don't think Elizabeth Warren ever told one truth in her whole life. When she was running for president and the president for my primary, she said, somebody bring me a beer! She wanted that beer. That's the first time I ever know that woman to tell the truth about anything. And then, to make it even worse, they hired this woman to be the historian for the United States Army. Jewish woman. They hold that against her. And she had the nerve and audacity to say that the Confederate soldiers had petitioned the United States government for Confederate graves in honor of him. No, they didn't. No. What happened was the black Union soldiers petitioned the United States Congress to take them out of the section they were in and put them beside the Union soldiers that they fought with. The United States Congress turned down that petition. And they did it again, and they turned it down. Had nothing to do with the Confederate soldiers. They were all Yankees. If you care so much about, you want to call them black? What they call them U.S. colored troops, what they call them, didn't they?
Buffalo soldiers.
Buffalo soldiers, U.S. colored troops, all over Arlington, you got signs that said U.S. colored troops. Well, now y'all keep talking about black folks don't like to be called colored. If you care so much about them, take all them signs down. Return, put them up there with the Union soldiers they fought with. Because the Confederate Army was an integrated army. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hey? Ate together, slept together, fought together, died together, carried each other home. That's the Confederate Army. You walking around here, they had them, what they call white people, where you describe Arlington. I told them, this is a den of indecency, and the only decent part about this whole place is the Confederate Soldier Cemetery that monument him. The only place in Arlington, when that boy went up there, General Biggs went up there and buried his son at the front door of General Robert E. Lee's wife's property, his property over there. No, he did it facetiously because he said, oh, General Lee was responsible for my son being that dead. He was in war. General Lee didn't ride a shot and kill him. And he kept on putting those Union soldiers at the man's front door, all over his yard. All of a sudden now, you don't even know what an apple tree is, what the Yankees being buried. Evil. Evil. Now all of a sudden, we bury who we want to bury, where we want to. We put the Negro over there, where the reconciliation monument was. Name the place after him. That's to stick it to the South, ladies and gentlemen. Anything we can do. You know, for the life of me, I keep trying to wonder why do these people hate us so bad in the South? Why?
We wave down here at you.
Huh?
So we wave down here.
Yeah, that's true.
There, don't wave.
I know when I was down south, I go, oh, you just baby. I say, hey, you like, you waving at me? Yes, sir. They hate us. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna put it right in my mouth, because I know y'all wanna go home. I know my baby girls are tired, boy. Daddy, you didn't tell us that boy was gonna talk back home. And I'm so glad to see y'all. A lot of folks in this room I haven't seen for a long time. It just makes me feel so happy to see you. Even during the war, for me, as I look and study it, it was a religious war, as well as anything else. Most of these folks from the north didn't even like Jesus Christ. And that's scary to me because my daddy was a Baptist minister. Amen.
Amen.
Son. So yours too?
Yes, sir.
Well, my mama was the only black woman that ever get a Confederate state bill fried. You said black. You know, y'all don't even know how hard I studied that day. See my mama sitting up there on that casket with two white mules. All my southern family with their flags coming down the road. All the black folks on the side go out. Take your mama home, Edgerton. Take her home. I was struck like a southern. I don't know why they don't like us. There's nothing like a southern. I don't care if you're red, yellow, black, or white. Nothing like them. I was born and raised during Jim Crow. There was not one successful black man in our community that did not have a white man standing behind him. Somebody had been wrong. A lot of them didn't have, people thought if you were white, you had everything. Some of them were still broke from what these boys that came down here, stole the money, stole all the jewelry, stole everything. Police had his hands around his neck and said, don't worry, John. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. I implore all my babies, you need to learn something before you start learning your mind. Don't believe all that crap they tell you about, oh, the bad man, evil, that boy will take you by your ears and hang you up on a tree. And I keep wondering how you get hung on a tree by your ears. But they tell us that. Made me learn the emancipation proclamation. I'm so sad I had to do that. Now I found out what it was all about. Okay, y'all. I've run my mouth long enough. Put it up there.
We got to teach our children.
Amen. Well, if he was going to give a speech, how come you didn't come up here and give it? You could. I could sit back down over there and drink that Mountain Dew. Amen, you. When faced with change, they could not accept it. The mighty men of valor began to gather. Red, yellow, black, white, free and Indian. Brothers, native to the southern soil. They pledged themselves to a cause, the cause of defending family, fireside, and freedom. Between the desolation of war and their homes, they interposed their bodies, came together, and chose me, the Christian cross of St. Andrew, the first disciple of Jesus Christ, as their symbol. I am their flag. I was at Sumter when they began in jubilation. I was at Big Bethel when the infantry fired his first volley. I smelled the gun smoke alone, Bull Run in Virginia, and at Belmont alone, the Mississippi. I was in a debacle at Fort Donelson. I led Jackson up the valley. 7 days, I flapped in the turbulent air of the James River Parliament as McClellan ran from me before Richmond. Sidney Johnson would die for me at Shiloh, as would thousands of others whose graves are marked Sidney, nominee, without a name unknown. I am the Southern Cross. I am their flag. I was shrouded with a body of Stonewall after Chancellorsville. Men ate rats and mules to keep me flying over Vicksburg. I tramped across the wheat fields with Kemper, Armistead, and Garnett at Gettysburg. I know the thrill of victory, the misery of defeat, the bloody cost of both. I, the Southern Cross, I am. Oh my God, I am their flag.
Praise the Lord.
When the end came at Appomattox, when the last Johnny Reb left Durham Station, many carried fragments of my brethren hidden under their bodies. In the hard years of so-called reconstruction, in the difficulty and despair of the years that slowly passed, veterans, their wives, their sons, their daughters, they loved me. They kept alive the tales of valor, the legends of bravery. They passed them on to their children, to the grandchildren, and my God, I hope they will pass them to you. I am the Southern Cross. I am their flag. I was rolling blood at Franklin. Still, when I said Nashville, many good men bade me farewell. I have shrouded the bodies of heroes. I've been laid in the blood of martyrs. I am the Southern Cross. I am enshrined in the hearts of millions, living and dead. Salute me with affection and reverence. Keep. I am, oh my God, I am the inspiration of valor from the past. Look away, Dixie man. I am the Southern Cross. I am their flag. God bless you. God bless Dixie, and thank you for having me tonight.